Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the I Don't Know Running podcast, where we share our experiences that make running fun and sometimes not so fun. I'm Lewis, and I'm a self-admitted lazy ultra runner.
And I'm Mitch, and I really, really like donuts.
Today you do.
Yeah. Well, it's my birthday.
Well, I guess you're like, yeah, happy birthday, by the way.
Yeah, so
Recording on your birthday.
I stopped.
You brought the sickness.
Yeah.
You are down with the sickness.
Something's going on. I feel better.
Yeah,
But I picked up, I went out quick. I worked from home, grabbed some donuts, a lot of donuts. And I might have had a couple of them.
From Marge's?
Sprinkles.
Sprinkles?
Yeah. They're delicious.
Yeah. So you just had a couple?
Yeah, it's funny, like we kind of started talking about, we're doing this weight loss thing, and I had fasted for a couple of days, which is not, it's good to do once in a while. And I thought, well, have a couple donuts, and I filled up quick. Like I couldn't eat what I normally eat. It does help shrink your stomach and do all that stuff. So,
yeah. I mean, I guess it helps that you didn't, nobody wants to feel bad, but I suppose it helped that you didn't feel good. You didn't probably want to eat much anyway.
No, my appetite was fine.
You had to make up a little.
Because we're talking about doing stuff this weekend, and I'm looking at recipes. I'm like, oh, that sounds really good. Oh, that sounds really good too.
And it's getting worse and worse all week, I bet.
It doesn't.
Like, whoa, this all looks really good.
It's not like it gets worse.
Okay.
You don't get hungrier.
Yeah.
But it's just like, oh, that sounds
Things
really
start to look better.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I know when I was in the Marine Corps, and man, when you were out in the field for a week or two at a time, and they would serve, you're supposed to get a hot meal every day, but I don't think that happened every day. But man, when you went back in from the field, man, everything just tastes amazing. The MREs agree. And the crap that they feed
I would
you.
agree, because we were on the John Muir Trail for 16 days of eating.
Oh, yeah.
We did have 2 stop-offs where one time we got a burger. The next time, the burger I could hardly eat because I was just exhausted.
Oh.
The second time we got like a barbecue meal. Oh my gosh, that was after being on the trail for like 5 or 6 days. So it was hot.
So wait, I know about the first one. I guess I didn't know about the second one.
The first one was actually
one.
No, the second one was
the big camp place.
Yeah, the one that everybody should go to if they're hiking that trail.
That's where you got the barbecue?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was fantastic. So we were able to get showers.
Now I do remember. Yeah. Okay.
The first place I got a burger and I could hardly eat it. I was just not feeling good. The second place, it was like the best. I would have bought another one.
Because a burger is one of those things, man, when you're really just wanting to eat a nice like smash burger of some kind or something, can taste so good.
Right.
Yeah.
But
it's your birthday. You haven't been feeling well. Have you ran all week?
Yeah.
Even though you haven't felt the best? Yeah.
I ran
able to get out
8 miles every day. Well, because of the race, I got home on Monday. I ran 4 with the dogs.
Yep.
Just to get something in.
Yeah.
Just to move my legs. And then I've been running 8 every day.
Yeah. And you got your run-in yesterday on the 29th. That was cool. I wanted to. I had plans to, but work ran late. That's why, a lot of people run in the morning, so it doesn't conflict. Part of the additional problem and complexity we had was we had a birthday party we had to go to as well. So we had a friend that she was born on the 29th. And so she was 14, even though she's, 50 something.
Yeah, that's the same. The neighbor kid, his birthday was yesterday.
I heard it's like 1 in 1,400 people or something like that is born on the 19th or the 29th.
So should only be 4.
Yeah. So she was 14. So
16, right?
Oh, does that make the math?
I think so.
The correct math? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
4, something like that. I was planning to leave early, and I couldn't get away. And then we had the birthday party to go to. So I just shuffled my schedule a little bit. My plan was to get an 18 to 20 miler in at some point between today, tomorrow, and Sunday. I wanted to get a long run in. And so I was also watching the weather, and we have that meeting tomorrow for the race. And that's why I was kind of going back and forth to you. I'm like, man, I want to leave that window open because it's going to be nice.
Yeah.
And I was thinking it would be nice to go out in that nice weather. So I wanted to leave that open. But because I missed yesterday, I thought, you know what? I always meet on Fridays with some buddies and have a breakfast. And I thought, well, I'll fill up on breakfast and I'll be fully fueled, ready to go out and get a long run in.
See, I would do a big breakfast. I wouldn't be able to.
Well, I did the Terrence thing though. I ate, but I didn't go out right away.
Okay.
I waited a few hours.
Okay.
So I probably should have ate some more by the time I made it out. Because then I was watching the weather going, I want to wear as little as possible because I have not ran. Speedo. Well, not quite that little. But I have not needed to use in all year. I don't think I've taken a water bottle or anything except for maybe one run. The 16 miler. I think I took one of my Orange Mud.
Okay.
The single barrel.
So how far did you go today?
I got 20 in.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're ready. You're done.
It felt okay. And this is where it's like, man, mentally I thought, yeah, I can get it in. I can run. I know I can do it.
How do you feel about pacing Glass City at the pace?
Fine. I ran an 8-minute pace today.
Oh, so
yeah, I get another 46 seconds a mile. So it should be fine. So yeah, because 8-minute would be 3:30. So
and you still have
2 months.
2 months. Yeah.
Almost 2 months. So I feel pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. You just got to keep it up.
I was starting to get nervous when I saw that training plan talking about where I should be. And I thought, man, I need to check and see how I feel. So I wanted to get out and get a decent one in, and I did. So I was super happy about that. In the process, well, here's the other thing: doing all these 8 to 12 milers in the winter is much different than doing an 8 to 12 miler in the summer, from both a hydration standpoint and a fueling standpoint. I feel like
what's funny though is that in the winter you don't think that you need the liquid.
Yeah,
but you really probably should do better
for sure. Yeah,
I think just don't get it because I still get thirsty.
I do too, especially anything over 8. 8 is the cutoff for me usually. 8 and under, I'm like, whatever. But I've
gotten into a bad habit where I don't carry it.
I know, same here.
Because I used to be like, plan it. Like it would be 5 miles out and I would be getting a drink. And now
I know I
don't worry about it.
I don't know if it's a lazy. Well, part of it is
you know what you could do.
Well, part of it, you know what you could do, but part of it is in the winter, I don't want to mess with anything. I want my gloves on. I want to be like cuddled up. I don't want to move any extra. I don't want to do anything. So
I think I agree with that.
Yeah. So
because
idea,
it freezes and it's just like not
carrying around an ice block, you know.
And all you're doing is carrying around the weight at that point if it freezes.
Yeah.
So it does you zero good.
And then the other option is you put on a pack of some kind, but like you do, you have to then put it inside a layer to try and keep it warm so it doesn't freeze. Yeah. Or for me, I wear the Orange Mud. And it's when you already have on like 3 or 4 layers, the last thing you want to do is put on another layer to carry water.
Right.
So it is kind of like, it's trying to simplify things as much as possible in the winter so you don't have to carry a bunch of stuff. But anyway, this whole time I've not had to do that. And then the 16 miler for the 16 miler I went, oh my goodness, what do we have in the cupboards? I need some fuel or something. And so I grabbed these. They're like almost like a Nutter Butter, but they're a round like Nutter Butter. And so I'm like, well, I'm gonna throw a few of those in the baggie and take them with me, and they were fine.
That's the best thing about ultra running, though, is that's the kind of crap you eat.
Yeah, anything that is just gonna give you a boost of sugar, and that'll do it. I mean, that's what those are. Yeah.
Because if you think about it, goos turned my stomach every time.
Yeah, goos are
'Cause it's
wonderful
just like such a hit of sugar.
Yeah, and they're great for their intended purpose.
They are.
But man, they are not for everybody. That's for sure. Some people can get away with them, and they can eat them all day long. They might not like them, but their stomach can handle them.
Right.
And I feel like I go through waves with it. Sometimes it's fine, and sometimes it's not. I will say, so like for today, I did not fix the solution for nutrition. So I grabbed a pack of those yesterday. We went to the dollar store and I went, oh, need these. And that's what I'm going to take. That's my nutrition for tomorrow or for today. And so I just put a bunch of those in the baggie. But I had some of those salt licks that, you said, I still had some of those left over.
So you took some of those?
Some. So I took a bunch of those. And it's crazy when you do math for running. We like most people know you can't do math while running.
Right. You have to think about it.
But you should be
before.
able to do it before. I did math before on how many tabs I should have took. I didn't take close to what I should.
Right.
For 20 miles.
Right. That's what I noticed when I ran the marathon is that you got to constantly I would keep one in my mouth, but you almost have to, as soon as that one's gone, you got to put another one in your mouth.
Are you supposed to suck on them?
You can do either.
Either. Okay. I just chewed them up.
Yeah.
But
what I thought was nice about that is it kept, my mouth
doing
not
something
dry.
Yeah. Well, I did the math and I thought I had figured out what I needed. And by mile 8, so what I did was I took 2 Hammer S-caps before I even started.
Yeah.
Like, remember Dave told us that's what he does. He pops. So I was like, yeah, I'll try it. And you had said you had really good success at the marathon. Well, I felt like it helped you.
I think it
at
did.
The marathon. So I'm like, you know what?
It helped my legs, not my stomach.
Well, that's just, so that's the thing. I thought, you know what? I'm going to try it today. Normally, I probably wouldn't do it because it's wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
I should say, it's a very mild winter right now, but it's wintertime. It's mild. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to take them with me. Normally, I wouldn't do it in the winter. But anyway, so I take a bunch of them. And by mile 8, I'm going, I already have, I have 4 left. And you're supposed to do it every 2 miles.
You ate that many?
Well, what's weird is I must not have just taken enough because I threw a bunch in a bag, but I thought I did the math, but I must have been calculating by 1 or something, popping 1. But you have to eat 2 of those to get 100. And I wanted to do 100 milligrams every 2 miles.
Okay.
So anyway, all that to say, I did get out to mile 9. Well, I got up to mile 9. I started thinking about I didn't start thinking about it. My Achilles started hurting.
Mm-hmm.
Remember yours was giving you a fit?
Yeah, and now it's good. I run a marathon, it goes bad. I run another one, it goes good.
Well, here's the thing. I have never had issues like that, ever. And I thought at mile 9, so I did a loop this way, and I went back by the house. Not really by the house, but went to the other side, close. And I went by, and I thought I was going to have to stop. It hurt that bad. And it was like a pain. And
when mine hit me at Groundhog, I walked for a minute and I had to slowly, and I thought, well, this is just the pain of the day. And it stayed for a couple weeks.
It was at mile 9 though.
Yeah.
That's I've ran several 8 to 12 milers now, through the course of the last couple months, several.
Yeah.
And had not had any issue. So it was really weird. If this was mile 16 to 20, I'd be like, okay, there's a reason for this, but not at mile 9. And so I didn't have, I seriously consider I might have to call Nicole and have her come and get me.
Not the first time.
Right. So I actually just said a prayer. I was like, hey, God, can you please heal this? Because I don't know what's going on. And I'm not kidding you, within a half mile, it was gone. It was gone. It was it wasn't even there. And I took out a cookie and ate. And speaking of the cookie, if we go back 2 miles, these are just some gross things that we do. as runners, I went out and my nose started running, and I'm trying to do the snot rocket deal and get rid of them, right? And I could not get my nose clear, and tried to get my left nostril clear. It would not clear. And finally, boom, I get a booger on my glove. And I'm like, well, what do I do with this? Wipe it on my pants and take off, keep going, right? Well, then 2 miles later, I'm digging in for a cookie.
Using that same hand for a cookie.
Man, oh man. We do some
and it makes you think about all the gross things that we do.
Yeah, for running. Yeah. For the sake of running.
Yeah. Runners are weirdos.
It's like you flip a switch. It really is like you flip a switch. It's like some things are just okay. So that's what we want to talk about on this podcast. Is some of the crazy weird things that runners do. So we actually have a list. I like the first one. Runners do weird things to protect from chafing.
Right.
We kind of talked about that on the last podcast. Well,
yeah, it's funny. I did that 100K, the first 100K I ever did.
Oh, yeah.
And I wore the wrong shorts.
Yeah.
And you learn from these situations. But my gosh, I've never been so chafed in my life. But I was taking anti-chafing, and I'm just stuffing my hand down there.
Down your pants.
And not caring a bit. And just trying to liberate. It wasn't enough. But you're using that same hand to get food.
You got to have the common decency to not use that hand for food.
Well, I think I used both hands at one point. Who knows?
It depends on how deep into the race you are. You
just don't care.
It starts to go down as the deeper you go into the race. But yeah, I know. Same here. My first 100. I don't know why the 50 miler I did prior wasn't an issue. I mean, it is a lot longer. It's twice, but man, that first 100, holy smokes, same thing. I think it was the same year you did the 100K.
Yeah.
And chafed. I did not understand how much pain that can cause.
Especially just in the shower.
In the shower afterwards. But yeah, from bandages on nipples and anti-chafing cream.
But now, because of that experience, the stuff that you go through, I will spend more money than I need to on shorts, on shirts.
100%.
Every shirt I look at is like, is this going to make me bleed?
Yeah. And then
Band-Aids.
And then I always think, I'm actually looking ahead to Glass City going, what am I going to have to do to protect my nipples?
Not just that, because of the shirts that they give you.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's not just your nipples, it's under your arms. So it'll rub under your arms and it'll leave marks there. So I actually went out and bought just sleeveless shirts that protect more. And I'm going to put that shirt over top of it. So a compression shirt with that.
Underneath it?
Underneath it.
Yeah, that's what I actually normally will wear a exoskin underneath. Just because, just so I know
it looks a little dorky.
It looks a little dorky, and it's a little bit warmer because you have 2 layers on.
Right. Glass City's usually
can be.
Well, it has been warm.
Has been warm, but it can be decent, like a nice 50 degree.
Yeah.
Which again, it's super nice if you only have that textured on.
Yeah, and then it'll be cool in the morning. You start off with arm warmers, and then next thing you know, you're taking all that down.
Yeah. The next thing on the list is runners wake up at crazy times. I think some do.
I don't know if I do.
One sitting across from me does. I don't.
4:30 a.m. start is normal.
That is not normal. I think if you're trying to get it in before 7, if you have to be into work at 7, yeah. But man, I don't think I could do it. I wouldn't run. If that was my only option, I don't think I would run.
I don't think, like when I first started running, I never thought I'd be here. Like getting up that early, I would have thought that was the stupidest thing in the world. And now I'm like, oh, it's completely sane.
Yeah, it's not.
Like, why doesn't everybody do that? Because that's the best time to go.
It is
less traffic.
Way less traffic, but you got to wear headlamps.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is good. Getting it in the morning definitely is the way to go if you can do it. I can do it a lot better now with my job than I used to do because I used to have to drive nearly an hour one way.
And be in there by 7.
By 8. Yeah. 8. But still, even that, it's like, man, it just, yeah. So it's a lot easier now having to drive like 10 minutes. I have to be in by 9. So there's zero excuses for me not getting it in.
You've gotten really lazy.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people do. I will say, from the getting up at crazy times, I'll definitely get up early for a race.
Yeah.
Because races start early. So, and you got to get up, according to Terrence, you got to get up like 3 a.m. to get your bagel in before.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get down that road.
But it is true. I know a lot of people do that.
But this past week when we did that race, I actually did have, like, we got Jimmy Dean's breakfast burritos. I actually had one before the race.
Yeah.
I thought,
you normally can't? You're not an...
Usually I don't eat anything.
Oh, man.
I can't. Nothing sits in my stomach.
I'll have a couple of bagels. Like, I can down a couple of bagels.
And Brian, too. Brian's got an iron gut. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's just that some people, just what the body does. I remember reading on this before. Running can actually start the process of the digestion and push it out.
Yeah.
And
usually
others,
that's what it does to me.
It'll actually stop. The body's, I don't know, like the terminology, but it's almost like the body senses, nope, we can't do that right now because I need this blood going elsewhere.
Right. But to me, every time it pushes it straight through.
Yeah.
And I'm stopping.
Unfortunately, I don't have to do that. I usually don't have that problem. And the next thing is, runners are crazy about their shoes. And I think that's true.
If they're not, they should be.
You have how many? Yeah, right. You have how many sitting in your basement, you said?
I don't know. 4
not
or 5.
Even opened?
4 or 5 pair waiting to, for the rotation.
And then
you got to get a deal.
And then this ties to the hoarding. There's another one down further that says runners are hoarders. And I would say on a couple of levels they are, shoes being one, race shirts being the other. Because
I've got over 200 race shirts still.
Yeah, there are a pile of race shirts that I'll never wear unless it's for a podcast or something.
Right. Well, the one I got just at this last race, it was a perfect one to wear for the podcast.
That is a cool shirt. I actually do like that shirt. But here's the thing. I don't think I'd wear it out.
No.
I would wear it for this.
For a run.
Yeah, or for a run.
It's bright.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, crazy about shoes, hoarding shoes. I would say that the hoarding side of the shoes is, man, I know that there are shoes, not right now because we just went through them and cleaned them out. But man, there were shoes up there that there's no way I'm wearing them again. And why are they there?
I probably got 6 pair that are flat that I should take and donate or throw away or do something with right now.
Get rid of. Yeah. So yeah, runners are crazy about shoes. And then the next one is bathrooms, schmathrooms.
Yeah. As a runner, we talk about this, but it's gross. I mean, you go into those bathrooms on a normal day, you would never go into a porta-john like that. That is that nasty.
Yeah. Nicole actually, I hope she's okay. I think she's okay with me sharing this. She ran one of the years she ran Boston. She ran it twice. I think it was the doesn't matter. One of the years she ran it, she is one of those that after the race, her gut. So like, I think during the race, her body says, nope, you're good to go. I'm going to hold it for you. But when you're done, it's coming out.
Yeah. And
so she will get sick or have to use the bathroom quickly because it's bad. And so it makes her pretty ill, actually. It's kind of unfortunate because she doesn't get to celebrate the experience very much. Sometimes she's been able to, but a lot of times not. And so she, after Boston, and Boston is such a process to get like through the finish and through the, all the medal section and all that, man. And because of where we were staying, you can't just like, all right, let's just hop over to the room.
Right.
No, it's a ways. It's a ways. And so she was feeling so bad. She got done and she was curled up on the bottom of a porta potty in the Porta John, and it was not a nice one. But what do you do?
I think I'd still be grossed out.
What can you do?
Nothing.
There's nothing you can do. And you have to you got to flip the switch and just take care of yourself. And so she did get better, but it's funny. We jumped out, not funny. It was quite a sight to see. We jumped on the subway to head back to our hotel, and she's got one of those like blankets over her, and she is not feeling well. I'm concerned she might have to use a bathroom or throw up or whatever.
Just wrap that blanket around her middle.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah. So we're sitting there and she's on the one of the seats, and I know people were looking at her going, is she like going to die here? I mean, so yeah, it's, you have to take care of what you have to take care of. And during the race, man, yeah, porta potties are great, but a field, a corn field, a bean field, a whatever.
I've used it all. I've used a bean field, and I could see people driving by. I don't
care. The next one is runners are crazy about the things they wear. You got a text telling Tammy when to meet us?
Yeah. Very important stuff.
It is all you can eat fish at Rainbow Grill.
Right.
I say Rainbow Grill. It's not Rainbow Grill, but it's what it's always been.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have all you can eat fish during the season of Lent. So that's where we're heading after. But we're crazy about the things that we wear.
Or wear crazy things.
That's true. Wear crazy things. Javelina is a perfect example of that.
People completely dressing up.
Yeah. I mean, it is during Halloween. I guess that is part of that. But man, that race, unlike any other I've seen.
Well, how many people do you see in races wearing tutus or only a Speedo?
Yeah. Know somebody.
Yeah, we know somebody. Crazy.
Is it London that has the, is it the London Marathon that always has Guinness Book of World Records show up to it?
Because we talked about doing the biggest
centipede or something.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny.
Yeah. I think that's the one. Yeah. And so that one has a ton of people show up dressed up in whatever costume. Remember the Circular Logic one? That guy dressed up in
as a zombie or something?
Was it a zombie?
I can't remember, but he was trying to go for the fastest marathon dressed as
a zombie. And he did run it in was it right around 3 hours?
Yeah, I think so.
Did he break 3? He might have.
It possibly.
I mean, he was pretty fast anyway.
And that's on a 1 mile loop.
Yeah, that one turn.
That one turn was hard.
It would be hard to run a marathon fast on that course. So yeah, anything from tutus to zombie costumes to any kind of costume you think. I'm trying to think, Javelina, man, some of the costumes that they were wearing, holy smokes. And then the next one is men shaving their legs.
Which I don't know that's...
Yeah, I don't know. I guess
unless you're taping it or doing something.
That's the only thing I could think of is men shaving their legs because of, like I did that when I did those 5 100s in that summer. I had messed up my knee. It could be the same one now that I think about it. And so I was doing some KT tape to help situate the kneecap actually. So it'd ride better or something like that. And so I just shaved because it was easier to do that, and you could really get a good stickum with that tape.
Yeah.
So, but outside of that, I don't know. Runners are weirdly interested in the color of their urine.
Which I have met some people.
Well, you do. You got to pay attention, especially during an ultra.
Yeah, because you could have bladder infection.
Yeah. And so
but if it's dark out and you're trying to pee, how do you know?
Here, will you hold this light?
Yeah, like, hey.
Can you check out the color of my pee?
I can't. I have no shame anymore. Just look.
Is it a straw color? Is it a?
Yeah.
Are we talking orange or stop sign?
Do you think there's blood in there? I can't tell.
Here, can you go get the aid station and get me a cup? I got to check out my pee. Yeah, they are oddly interested in the color, and it is totally a hydration thing.
I think about it after, when I'm done.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
like if I'm drinking enough water afterwards.
Today, right when you got here, I was using the bathroom. I was like, all right, it doesn't look too bad. Hydrated okay. So I was checking out my pee right before we got on to record. So probably TMI, but
but that's what runners do.
That's the other thing, which we will get to. But runners love to eat all the carbs. I mean, I don't know. Everybody's got a different diet.
I try to do less carbs, actually.
Yeah, I think it's all, and I think this is, when you look at this list, part of it is in fun.
Right.
Because of all the, like if you go back, probably
20 years
10, 15 years ago, it was always the big carb dinner before the night before. And then it came to find out, well, it's really not helping you for race day. It's just loading you down and it's actually not giving you a lot of benefit.
Yeah. Just making you have to poop.
But after the fact, it is, I know, like for me, I can eat after a race. Some people can't, but a beer, it used to be a beer. I do NAIM now, but a beer and a pizza or something like that, or a hot dog. Love it. And then this one, we did talk about this a little bit, but man, this is wide ranging. Runners do some gross things. We talked about it before.
Yeah.
From blowing snot rockets to eating your food.
Right. And we were just thinking about, again, going into an aid station. If you were in a normal
restaurant,
would you go and just stick your hand in and eat M&Ms that 100 other people had stuck, after their blowing snot rockets?
Think about it. If we went to Rainbow today and as you walk in, they've got a table set up with M&Ms and some chips and some pickles and some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches cut up.
And everybody's just sticking their hands in there.
And it just says, free.
You wouldn't touch it.
Would not touch it.
No. But on a race?
No way.
Well, you think about that too. You're sweating. You know that there's probably sweat that lands on it.
Oh, yeah. I have myself. I do try to be careful.
Well, I do too.
I mean, I do try to be like thinking, what am I grabbing? So I try to be careful, but inevitably you can't help it. It's especially you're talking like, all right, a 50K and under, you could be pretty careful, but man, you get into the 50 mile, 100K, 100 mile, there's no way. There is no way.
You don't care at that point.
No.
Well, I think the next one is funny is runners are friendly.
Yeah.
How many people do you strike up a conversation with that you wouldn't otherwise?
100%. Especially, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter where, before, during, or after, but I guess all of them pretty equally, especially before you're in the corrals. You just start talking.
Yeah.
I mean, to anybody. I know it's funny when I think back to Wednesday nights, one of the things that would happen a lot is somebody new would show up, right? And Jim, man, he would beeline. But he's going to talk to them.
Yeah, you have to, because how do you, because it, how else? Like, would you want them to feel comfortable? And after the race, especially, like, I know this probably Brian isn't as social as I am. I talk to everybody after the race.
Brian's not as social as you. That's an understatement.
Right. I talk to everybody. So we're in the bar, like I said before, and, somebody's got the shirt on. It's like, just start. And on top of that, shaming them for only running a half at Missoula.
Nice.
Like, yeah. I thought that part was pretty funny.
Wait, from that one?
She, I was wearing my Missoula sweatshirt. She's like, I ran the half because I had a broken foot.
No way.
And I said,
the one in Alabama you just did?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
She ran the same race. And then I'm like,
she had a broken foot.
She had a broken foot at Missoula.
Yeah. And she ran the half.
And she ran the half. And I'm like, only the half?
She had a broken foot.
I know. but I don't care. I thought it was funny anyway.
Yeah. No, that is.
But she started giving it right back. And it was just hilarious.
That's cool. And so that is, man, think about that. You can tell the runners, like when we would go to do a race, you can see like who's there for the race. Yeah. It's a lot of times you can tell who's there for the race. And you just want to start talking. Yeah. Like, hey, where are you from?
But on the airplane, when somebody sits next to you, do you talk to them? No.
Yeah. Unless they're for the race.
Unless they have a running shirt on.
I had a guy when we came back from, was it Javelina? Let me think here. I want to say, oh no, it might have been Western. It was one of those coming back from out west. A guy, I'm sitting in my seat, and he I think he put on, I must have been wearing like the race shirt or something, but I'm sitting there. He stops in the middle of the aisle, like the plane's loading, and he's like, "Oh, what? I think it was Western. I don't know why now, but anyway, he's like, "Oh, did you do the race? Blah blah blah." And where he's sitting there chit chatting about it, and he's like actually like trying to get out of the way, and people are like, "Dude, you're like,
go sit down.
Go sit down." I mean, it was cool, but why was that significant? There's a tie there. For some reason, he knew
somebody that you know, and
there was this like weird tie, and it come to find out, I was like, oh, really? This and that, and so.
And everybody else is just annoyed.
People are just trying to get to their seat. He's like talking about, I'm his math teacher and this and that, and I'm like, oh, okay. Runners talk about personal stuff with other runners.
For sure. I've read something on that it's because you're not looking at each other that you can say whatever.
Oh, that's interesting.
But Ron always says about that. He talks like when they're out running, he's like, no subject is taboo.
Is off limits, yeah.
They talk about religion, they talk about politics, they don't care. They just talk about all of it. It's funny.
Yeah, there are some personal detail. Well, like talking about today's run, it's like nobody wants to hear about a booger on your
or and when you're running with somebody and you're running with a mixed group.
Yeah.
And you could have, like this really attractive girl running with you and she's like, "Oh, I got to go poop." Normal society, she would never do that.
Right. Well, anybody talking about having to go poop, nobody just
No,
does
but it's
that.
just funny.
Yeah.
Like, and then it's obvious where that person goes and jumps over into the woods and goes. It's like, oh, okay.
They're pooping.
Yep. And I'll wait for them. They come back. Everything come out all right? How do you feel?
How do you feel? No, good to go. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I feel
it is.
I feel
there is a, there is that almost, I'm trying to think of what the term I was looking for, like a, breaking the barrier. What is that?
I don't know.
Not a graduation, but you're almost like rite of passage.
Or farting on the run.
Yeah, right. There is that. Yeah. You can definitely share in the talk of bodily.
And just do it.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it's just a part of the process of the body. And when you spend that many hours together.
Right.
And you're running.
You do a 20 miler with friends and you run together. Stuff's
gonna jiggle loose.
Yeah. It's just the way it is. You can't hide it.
Yeah. The next one is runners love to run in bad weather. Yeah. I mean, it's funny because we've talked about it a little bit.
I hate it, but I like it that I can do it.
Yes. It is another one of those rite of passages things, I think, where it's not fun, but once you get yourself, just like almost every run in the winter, once you get out there, it's not that bad.
This week was that way. There was one morning where it started to snow kind of, and it was
I got stupid cold again.
Yeah, and it was like both Carl and I were like, "Oh my gosh!" Like
I'm not in the mood. We are only in February.
Well, we were then.
Now we are. Yeah,
we're in March, but yeah,
it is a typically.
But we both underdressed. Like I had a thin pair of gloves on because the day before was super warm.
It was 70.
So the morning before I ran with t-shirt and shorts. Next day I didn't put on enough. My hands were freezing.
I didn't even. I went out in the warm, and I actually had to peel off. I went out and it was like 50. I didn't know how to dress. I was like, do I wear a long sleeve for this? Like, it's just a training run. I want to go slow. Do I need a long sleeve over a short sleeve? And so I did. I wore like a light tech shirt, but it was too much. I got to like mile 4. I think I ended up running like 10. But anyway, I had to peel it off. I was dying. It's always fun having accomplished it, but it's hard getting out the door.
Right.
The next one is runners. Running 26.2 miles is not enough for some runners. It's a steady progression. A lot of times it is.
I think it's funny to me how many people are like, a marathon is like, no. Like they'll do a marathon and that would be it. But a lot of people, we met a guy this past weekend that ran one marathon and he was just trying to do 10Ks and do fast 10Ks. I'm like, who does that? Doesn't seem right.
More normal people. It is I think for a lot of people that enter into the marathon distance, it's you love the mental challenge of things. And so you want to continue to challenge yourself. Ice baths.
Yeah, I don't do ice baths.
I know some people that do, and I think it is good. I just don't want to do it.
Well, I'll stick my legs in a cold water source.
I mean, like at the end of what's the one at Canonsburg?
Oh, go stand in the creek.
Yeah, go in the creek there, and it's usually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I just don't like cold water, so unless I'm drinking it. Runners give up a lot for running.
Yeah, which is true. Everything gets scheduled around the run. So even tomorrow when we're talking about getting together.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're talking about your run and when you want to run, and I'm trying to set it up for when I'm running. And then Rudy says, hey, you want to get breakfast first? I'm like, I'll be running.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that sounds good, but.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, there's definitely giving up a lot on your own end. Your family gives up a lot. There's a lot of thank yous to be done, appreciation.
You know, I don't look at it like my wife knows if I don't run, like when I'm hurt,
it's still a sacrifice.
I'm a mess. It is a sacrifice.
I mean, it's still a sacrifice.
She would more willingly sacrifice that than me being a complete bear. Yeah,
totally. Yeah. But it is a sacrifice. They do have to give up something. It is good on the flips or on the receive or on the back end when you do get the run in, you're not a jerk.
Right.
The next one is toenail loss. It's a sign of pride. I've never thought that myself. I've just thought, well, you didn't get properly fitted shoes or you didn't take care of your feet. Right. But that's me. I've never had issues with it.
I have a permanent bad toe. It's been there for 15 years. I'm actually trying to do something about it now, but it just never, it'll peel off and then.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. And I think that some of that comes down to just genetics. If your feet can take it, they can. And if not, they can't. I don't want to see it. I tell you that. People post like, oh, look I lost a toenail. I don't want to see that. It's gross.
I know, but that's what's funny about it.
Yeah. Mileage stickers.
I don't have any on my vehicle.
No, we talked about that. We put them elsewhere.
Yeah. I put them on my bear can.
Yeah. And I have them on my
runner box.
What are they? Crew boxes or whatever. For aid station boxes. For ultras. Whether it's a race sticker. They're mostly race stickers, actually, I think. I do have a couple of mileage ones on there. And mine just flipped for some reason.
Well, the next one was taking that extra run around the block or around the parking lot.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like when you get done and you're not quite to the mile that you want to be.
Yeah.
You look like an idiot running around in a parking lot. We all do it. Nobody cares.
We do it unless we specifically want to. Like today, I thought about stopping at 19.99. Just so I could hear you say, well, you didn't get a 20 in.
Yeah, that only counts as 19.
but I wouldn't care.
I would.
I know. There's the, oh yeah, where are we at?
Well, I want to skip the next one, but go the secret running language.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's just funny, new runners, what's a fartlek?
Yeah.
Or, PR, BQ.
Yep.
All of that stuff.
Tempo. What is
I'm going to do a tempo. I'm going to do intervals. And it just comes out of your mouth like
negative splits, like all of that.
What's that all mean?
They all, the more you learn with running, the more you start to develop a lingo. I don't think that's any secret. Crazy runners talk about themselves. I guess, I don't know. I think that's the same as like the CrossFit thing. They say, you want to know if somebody's into CrossFit? Just talk to them for 5 minutes.
They tell you. Well, that was the same thing. These girls we met at the finish line of the 10K. The girl did tell us that she's an Ironman, one of these girls. And I laughed. I said, well, how do you know somebody's an Ironman? They'll tell you. And she laughed. She's like, yeah, I tell everybody. Okay, that's something to be proud of.
I mean, it is. I actually, because of stigmas like that, I try to avoid it.
Yeah.
Like I just, unless somebody's going to ask me if I run, I probably won't say it. And then it's funny because like in certain situations, like, oh yeah, if I'm getting introduced to somebody, like maybe say at work or something, he runs 100-milers. And I'm like, man, I haven't even ran one in like 2 years. Everything is planned around the run. We kind of talked about that.
We're pissed when we have to rest.
Yeah, like yesterday for me, I was kind of bummed. I wasn't pissed, but missing a run.
Especially if you're hurt. When you can't run because it's outside of your control.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah. I talked to Rob this week, and he's been hurt for like 3 months, and he is beside himself.
That's a bummer.
He doesn't even know what to do anymore. To try to get
has he gotten it checked out?
He has.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's a diagnosis, but it's just going to take a while to heal. So
that's a bummer. Yeah. So that meets up with we still run sometimes when we shouldn't. Down further.
Planning vacations around running.
That's a lot of what you do.
That is all I do.
99% of yours.
Oh yeah. And people give me such a hard time about that. And I give my wife a hard time. And she's like, it's one day.
Yeah.
Because for our 30th anniversary last year, we went to Montana. And
it was amazing.
It was amazing. I did the full, she did the half. And then afterwards went to Glacier.
Yeah.
So, we had a running weekend, which is fine. Well, I didn't run the rest of the time I was there.
Yeah, and I meant the vacation was amazing.
Yeah.
Because like when you guys got back, we went and we talked. Wait, no, you didn't. We talked to Clint and Cindy. And they were just talking about how amazing they didn't even run the race.
They didn't run the race.
And they were talking about how amazing it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, you definitely do things around it, but it is not the only thing. Sometimes it is.
Right.
Like when you went to Alabama, that was pretty much strictly geared around getting down there and getting the race in and getting back.
I went with my daughter to Sedona, or like Arizona last year. I didn't run the whole time I was there. That's a rarity.
Especially for out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To not do a race out there.
The next one is running selfies. See that a lot from people like Eric.
Not me.
Me
Once
neither.
in a while. It's too much to get my phone out of my pocket.
It is. If it was more convenient, maybe I would. I would maybe not selfies, but I would take pictures. Yeah. Like when you run by cool stuff. I mean, it's neat.
I think about Crater Lake and I look at my pictures that I took while I was running that race and it was beautiful. I have no pictures of how beautiful it was. And I kind of wish I did.
Oh.
I know he took a bunch. I could probably get him to send them to me.
Yeah, he's probably got like
5,000.
Did he run the marathon?
He did.
As I was going to say, I was going to say 5,000, but probably as close to that. Yeah. Which is cool. I actually like that. Like Does Clint take a bunch?
I don't think so.
Somebody else takes a bunch when they're running. The next one is we love foam rolling. I don't like foam rolling. I think it's good for you.
We know that we like to talk about it and how much we should stretch, but really the reality is runners don't stretch.
No, well, and that's rolling out your muscles, which is actually really good for you.
It is, but how many people? We're all Tinman.
Yeah, I think we should do it. I think more runners should do it, but yeah, we don't. But anyway, those are some weird things that runners do. Probably TMI on some of those things. But
if you're a runner,
part of being a runner.
If you're a runner, you get it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a quick. We just want to go over a few things of the weird things that runners do, and yeah, check us out on Facebook. Check us out on YouTube. Check out soon more race info. I want to be hitting this every single podcast so that people start planning. November 29th, we are putting on a race. I wanted to do this on the front end so that we hit this like a lot, but we are putting on a race. It's going to be a 5, a 10, and at least a 5, a 10, and a 25K, potentially a 15 and a 20. Not for sure yet, but a race somewhere between Hudsonville and Holland. And yeah, it's on November 29th. So put it on your calendars. Talk to all of your friends and family and tell them to put it on their calendars. Invite people, anybody you know that runs. We want to get people out.
If you know some sponsors that want to sponsor a race,
yes,
just let us, good beer sponsor.
Get us connected with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if Pigeon Hill, buddy, he's the owner.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder I should connect with him and see. But anyway, Chad Doan, if you're listening, I'll connect with you on.
Do they have NA?
I don't know if they do, but I'll bring them up.
Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that would enjoy it.
True. Yeah, that's true. Maybe we'll get Athletic Brewing to sponsor.
If you don't know better.
Yeah.
Because you say it's pretty good.
It is really good. I like it. Anyway, November 29th, mark your calendars. Tell all the runners mark their calendars. We want to put on a race and get a bunch of people there.
And our goal is to have pie.
Goal is to have pie and a lot of fun. It's the day after Thanksgiving. But yeah, with that, that's going to wrap up this week's episode of the I Don't Know Running podcast. Be sure to tune in next time as we share more about what we just don't know.
Until then, happy running.